So in this video I want to show you how to fly the default Airbus A320 aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. A few disclaimers before we start. Number one is I am not a professional, I am just a amateur gamer who has picked up a few things along the way from other videos I've seen, so I thought I'd put together my own sort of tutorial video on how I fly this aircraft, and hopefully you learn something too, and hopefully you find this video as a quick way to get you in the air and flying it properly, rather than how I started, where you just sort of pick an airport, take off and just try and land manually. Second thing is we're going to be covering several areas. So we're going to be setting up the flight route, which will be this video. Then it will be how we get the aircraft switched on, engines running. In that section I will probably include how to taxi as well. That might be a separate section, but either way it will be flight route, get the aircraft turned on, taxi into the runway, the takeoff and initial climb. And depending on what route we do, I'll also cover your cruise, and then the initial descent, the landing, and final descent and landing. And I'll also be including air traffic controlling as well, and just going through a few things I've picked up. So let's get started. So in this video we're going to be showing how do we set up the flight route that we're going to be flying. So from the main menu we're going to go to World Map, and from here it's a bit like Google Earth, you can drag it around, zoom in, zoom out, but essentially what we're going to do is pick our departure airport and our arrival airport. So for this example I'm going to be flying from Birmingham. Now you've got three options for your starting position. You can choose Birmingham by default, and the game will just select either runway depending on the current conditions. You can tell it to select a particular runway, so runway 15 or runway 33, or what we're going to be doing is you can actually select a particular gate, and that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to select gate 42C and set as departure, and then under the from section you can see we've got Birmingham Airport, gate 42C. The next thing we need to select is our arrival airport, and I'm going to be flying down to Bristol Airport. I don't mind which runway we use at the moment, so I'm just going to select Bristol and set as arrival. So this is the route, which is just a straight line, but we want to do it I say do it properly. We want to have a proper flight route and a proper approach, rather than just coming in from the northeast and then suddenly turning on to final. So on the left hand side under VFR we're going to select IFR, High Altitude Airways. So this is now going to change the departure route, and under the to airport on the approach we're going to select RNAV 9 or 27, whichever one you want to fly. That's quite a sharp corner there, so we can always, you don't always have to do this, but you kind of want to have it as a straight line as possible. Obviously in an airliner I'm not going to be doing a hairpin corner like that. So we could change the arrival route, and again we just need to sort of try and select a relatively okay route. This is the bit that takes the longest, trying to find a route that complements your aircraft. This bit is a bit fiddly, but when you get a route that you like, it's going to be a lot easier when you're actually flying, trust me. So here we are. So we are going to be departing from gate 42C, taxiing to runway 33, taking off to the north, and then swinging over west, coming down southwest, down south, and then yeah, I'll be cutting that corner. Past Western, and then on to runway 9 at Bristol Airport. So we've got our aircraft selection, all airliners, and I'm flying the Airbus A320neo. I'm not using a version 2, just the default A320neo. Don't worry about the paintwork, that's just an add-on I've got. Let's go EasyJet. And flight conditions will fly offline, and we'll have clear skies, no wind. And that's it. That is literally the route set up. So the next part of the video is getting in the aircraft at Birmingham and getting it switched on.